I go up to people, and one of the guys was a Muslim, and I went up to him, and we were talking, and it wasn't like I was trying to do street evangelism. This is just lifestyle, and we were talking for a minute, and I said, hey, he was asking about some things unrelated. I don't want to go into the whole story, but basically I said, hey, this is going to sound really funny, but I'm a Christian, and I feel like God can help you with what you're asking about, and I feel like we can listen to him together, and he'll speak to you. He goes, well, I'm Muslim, so I don't believe in that. I don't believe your God, whatever. So I said, well, let's try something. Just borrow my faith for a minute. I hear from God. I have a relationship with him, so borrow my faith and just try. What does it hurt to try? And he was really open in his heart because he's from Los Angeles, and we're all spiritual there. So he closed his eyes, and I closed my eyes, and I asked questions. I said, then we'll both listen, and we'll see if God tells us anything. He goes, okay. So I said, God, before you ever formed me in my mother's womb, you thought of me for millions of years. What were you thinking? So he asked that, and he goes, oh. I said, what? And he goes, I don't know if I just wanted to hear something, but I heard something. So what did you hear? And he said, that I'm good. I saw how he made me to be good, but I've never been good. I've been my whole life trying to be good. My father's good. I'm not good. And I said, well, what makes you not good? And then they got into too bad of a conversation. So I said, let's come back into, like, what is good about you? Father, what is good about me? Ask God as a father, what is good about me? And he listened, and he goes, oh, and he got tears in his eyes. So at this point, he's forgetting he's not a Christian. He's completely forgot he wasn't a Christian. I love when you get people out of their mind. I was with a guy the other day, and he's an investment guy, like totally like anal analytical guy. And he goes, I just want connection and intimacy like I have with my kids and my wife, with God, and it's so hard. Then he tells me how he goes to God, and it was so formulated and so like, and then I try and get clean, and I try and do this, and I'm like, I wouldn't talk to you if I was God. You're way too complicated. I'd have to navigate all those hurdles. Like, you're like, stop being weird. But religion causes you to not be able to relate because you think you have to do something. And the beautiful thing about God, and I want to go into that performance issue a little bit more that Leif was talking about last night, because if a Muslim on the street could hear God, and he heard God powerfully, and it reshaped, I'll just tell you his last statement, it reshaped his view on life and humanity and religion. And he said, my God has never talked to me. I have to put a lot of thought into this, that your God talked to me, and he told me who I am. And at the end, I said, let's ask God, who are you? So we asked God, who are you? And he said, he's the most brilliant light I've ever seen. I said, does that light have a name? And he goes, I think it's Jesus, but I'm not willing to say that yet. From his mouth, he had the encounter. And now it's one thing if you prophetically evangelize and treasure hunt and all those power evangelism, all those things we've read throughout the years and prayed about throughout the years. It's totally different when you put it on somebody else to hear from God. And you're just a facilitator of conversation. And yes, weird stuff can come up. I've been at New Age fairs, and they'll be like, my owl spirit is telling me, no, don't listen to the owl for just a second. We're just looking for creator, that's all, not other things. And they're like, okay. The owl's saying don't listen right now. I'm like, well, let's tell the owl not to talk. It's not a big deal. When you're secure in who you are, it doesn't matter. So I just put that out there. Yes, other voices talk. And yes, there can be like a counterfeit Holy Spirit experience, but you're authentic. So what happens is if you have the authentic God inside of you, have you ever been with somebody that like they're so smart and they're so knowledgeable about something that if you BS your way into that conversation, they're going to know? That's how people feel about your spirituality when it's authentic. Like, oh, I can't fake it right now. Okay, I got to be completely real. I have friends who tell me their dreams, and if they're just fluffy and they're like just imaginations, immediately I don't try and do this, and I'm not cynical, and I'm like the most positive person. In my mind, I'm one of the most positive people to my friends, and they'll tell me something, and immediately they get like, well, I didn't mean to say it that way, and like, I don't know, maybe that's not God. I'm like, what do you do? Like, what just happened? Like, I'm trying to celebrate your dream. They're like, actually, I don't think this is as real as I thought it was before I talked to you. Because there's a barometer of truth in me that causes people, when they share their ideas, that they can feel if it's God or not, even more. I don't know why. It's just like when we have a relationship with God, it counterbalances each other. Like when you say something, well, unsaved people or people who don't have that connection to God, or they've had connection to God, but they haven't known how to define it, begin to find that connection in you, and they borrow your connection.